Hi and welcome to this video on how to plan using GAP. So just a reminder, GAP is a differentiation strategy which uses green, amber and pink colours which are applied to tasks and resources used within the lesson. It's really simple actually to plan using these colours, but what is important is that when you plan you make sure you add in the support and the challenge required for the specific task. My own way of planning using GAP is this. I will always start off about thinking what is the task I want all the students to complete, okay? Don't think about differentiation, just think about the task itself. And also remember this task can be a plenary, a starter, an assessment activity, or a main lesson activity as well. Once you know what this task is, put together your resources for it, or quite simply write down what the task is so the students can see it, and apply the amber colour. And think about this as your starting point. My next stage then is to think about that same task and think about how do I make that task more challenging. A great way of thinking about how to make it more challenging is to take a look at Bloom's taxonomy and apply some of the principles to the task that you've just put together. But if possible, try to avoid just making the initial task, which is our amber task, longer in length. It is not about giving extra work. What it is about is challenging students' thinking skills. So this task is now our pink task, and as before, either write it down or put together your resources and apply the pink colour. So then that leaves how do we support those students who would struggle with the amber or pink task. So going back to the amber task, think about how you could support students with the amber task itself. And often this can be things like help points, writing frames, use of keywords, connect mats from the connect strategy. It could also be advice on getting support from the teacher. Put this together into a resource and then apply the green colour. And already what you've got is your green, your amber, your pink, which is your GAP strategy, your differentiated activity. They are all based around the one lesson task, which remember was our amber activity. And that is now easily accessible for the students. A couple of other things to think about within this, okay, is when you put together your resources, keep them simple. What you don't want to do is spend a lot of teacher time within the lesson explaining to the students, okay, how to use or how to access these resources. It should be simple as, here's today's task, have a read of them, choose your task, and now start. So simplicity is important. And as I just said then, also point out the fact that the students must be allowed to choose the task that they start on. Do not, whatever you do, say to students, everybody must start at green. Because at the end of the day, the lesson task was amber. And if everybody was starting at green, you are presuming that everybody in the class already needs support with the task. It's the students' ownership of the task. They choose the colour they start on. And also they can mix between colours if they wish to. So I hope you find this video useful. Try GAP, it is fantastic. I have been teaching for 15 years before I started using GAP, and it absolutely transformed my lessons. On a daily basis, my lessons are outstanding, and one of the biggest reasons is GAP. Okay, thank you for listening. If you want more details, look at the Standout Teaching website, and hope to see you again.